Welcome to the Diva Details. Welcome to the Diva Details, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia and Diva Khat.
Well, hello, Diva Khat.
Hello, Diva Mia.
How are you today?
I'm great. Actually, the weather is beautiful.
I know I love spring and summer.
Yes, everything is blooming like the rest of us.
Well, what do you want to talk about today, Khat?
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Oh my goodness, sex.
Sex is always a great subject, don't you think?
Sex is a wonderful subject. It's nice to actually be able to talk about it with everyone online here too. Some people think it's something to be kept in private. I think there's kind of an enlightening age that's coming about where people are more willing to talk about it. People are more open to talk about it with their friends.
It's a healthy thing.
There's the idea of sexual health. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people need to talk about it because things happen and they don't know what to do. And I got this really good book. It's called Kama Sutra Sex Guides for Couples.
Oh, wow. I need that.
I know. It's kind of a nice little book, too. And, I know the Kama Sutra is very patriarchal. Some of it's demeaning to women, but you know what? It's got some good stuff in it, too. You have to remember it was written at a time when that's how civilization was, and civilization has evolved. It's kind of an interesting read just to see how things were. You don't have to cancel it for any reason, but it's nice to see how things were in history to compare to how it is now.
Oh, it's all natural things. I don't know why people think it's such a
The Kama Sutra, the actual original Kama Sutra book, I have that one as well.
Oh, wow.
And it's about men taking multiple wives and the woman submitting and it's much more derogatory towards women.
Yeah.
But, a lot of books have been written since then related to Kama Sutra. Kind of interesting. Sex doesn't just start with sex. There's the whole first stage of sex, and that includes like seduction.
Oh, wow.
And gameplay. I mean, some people play games. I'm not a big game player, but seduction, respecting each other, respecting your partner, that's actually the first step of sex.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of hard to go have sex with somebody you don't respect or if somebody's demeaning you. I know for me,
no,
I'm not
abusive.
into it. Yeah, I'm not into having sex with somebody that, I was in a relationship one time there where the man would yell at me all day and then expect me to have sex with him. I just not into it.
That doesn't work that way.
Women,
I actually saw that movie, Kama Sutra.
Did you?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that. I haven't seen that one yet. Getting a woman in the mood is kind of romantic for a man too. It's good to have, you get the right kinds of foods.
Mm-hmm.
You dress up, you get the right sounds, the right scents. Maybe you take a bath together, candles and dimmable light. All those things set kind of the stage for really good sex.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yes, you can have the wham bam thank you mans once in a while with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice to have, sex.
Yeah, nice to have like candlelit, set the mood, dress night, rose petal, the whole bit.
When was the last time you did something like that?
No.
No.
I haven't done that Actually, no.
You haven't done it ever?
We never have the candle lit. We never have that. No.
Oh, well, you're going to have to do that then, Khat. I'm going to have to help you with that one.
No.
You can do it too, ladies. You don't have to have a man. It is fun when the men do it, though. I will tell you, when a man is romantic, take me home forever. That's all I got to say. Because when a man's romantic and does the candle lights, the rose petals on the bed.
Yes. Actually, my niece wedding this weekend, and her groom actually, he didn't do it. Obviously, I don't think so. I think he just ordered the hotel service. And they post on their story. And I love the idea. I even told my husband, I said, why didn't we do that? Just go to the hotel and order the room. So they do everything for you.
Yeah, that is nice. That is nice. It's one way to go.
That's the idea,
It is one way to go. You don't have to do it yourself. It's cheaper to do it yourself, though.
Yeah. But, they're on their wedding night, so.
Oh, on your wedding night, you want it done for you, for sure.
Yeah. So.
Well, this is one way to rekindle a relationship for sure, is if you do the whole romantic evening, right? You set the stage because that's the first step of sex, is setting the stage.
I like that.
I think it's lost a lot in today's relationships as people are in such a hustle and bustle, they forget to set the stage.
No, I think to us anyway, I don't know. We just tired.
I understand, but let's say it's just once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe just once a month or once a quarter if you can't manage once a month. Just have one extremely romantic night. And you know what the thing is? It'll set the whole, you'll be thinking about that night for a long time. I encourage you, Diva Khat, to do it.
do it. Long weekends coming.
Chocolates? Does he like chocolate?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm allergic, so that wouldn't work for me. But caramels work for me, though. But no. Chocolates. And then do like rose petals.
Yeah.
And candles. Yeah. And make sure there's no kids in the house. Because this is going to get some crazy sex.
Right.
And you got to do it on probably a Saturday. So don't do it on a Friday if like they're working Monday through Friday and Friday's the last day. Do it Saturday. If you want, I can babysit. Your son can come over and play here. That way you got the evening. Mia. I'm going to help you out, girl.
Oh, my God.
All about the good times.
I just have to make sure I don't get pregnant again.
Oh, my gosh. Don't do that.
No, I cannot do that.
I don't think you can.
No.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay. Anyway, so yes, do that.
Oh, I'm excited now.
I know. We can do it this weekend if you want. Talk about rekindle. So every month or at least once a quarter, ladies, send the kids out, have someone watch the kids.
Yes.
And make it a romantic evening.
Yes.
And eventually, let's say you have a man that's a little slow.
Okay.
Eventually, maybe the man will start doing it instead of you. So show him how it's done, ladies. That's what I got to say.
Yeah.
So do you know what the second phase of sex is?
What is it?
Foreplay.
Is it really?
Foreplay's level 2. So you've set the stage, and now you begin the foreplay. Now, foreplay, what does it start with usually?
Kiss.
Oh, yeah, kissing. And did you know there's tons of kissing? There's different locations of kissing. There's different erogenous zones you can kiss, the neck, the inner thighs, behind the knee, even the armpit, as long as they smell okay.
Yeah.
The bottom of the feet.
Oh, wow. I need to get that book. Where'd you get them?
The lower stomach. Oh, it's wonderful. Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra Sex Guides for Couples.
Oh, wow. I get that.
What about your ears? I'm really sensitive on my ears. Ears, lower stomach, like right below
your belly button. Oh.
Even your hands, sucking on fingers, things like that are fun. And of course, the genitalia region, the labia, the clitoris, the vagina, the G-spot. Oh my gosh, ladies, I'm getting excited just talking about it. And then let's go with the nipples. Hello.
Hello.
And
yes.
And the scalp. I mean, some people like their heads rubbed, massage, gentle massaging. That's, part of foreplay.
Oh, wow.
So there's lots of different things. And there's different types of kissing.
Huh.
Did you know that?
Well, I know French kiss.
Everybody knows how to French kiss. I think everybody should know how to French kiss at this point.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to French kiss, go practice. Because you know what, guys, if you can't kiss a woman deeply, passionately, it kind of kills the whole stage. It might work for a little while, but the bad kissers, they just don't work out.
Well, the best kisser, they said, is always turned off, especially you single people out there. The first kiss is a bad kiss. You know there ain't not going to be no second date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, let's talk about the different types of kissing. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Since we're talking about sex today, this is all we're going to start with kissing and go from there.
Okay.
So there's a thing that's called a measured kiss.
What is that?
So that's where one partner offers their lips, but they don't move them. So like one person is kissing the other person and their lips are static.
Oh, wow.
There's a throbbing kiss, which is usually, started by a woman, but it can be started by a man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you touch their lips slowly with your tongue. Or your lower lip slowly moves back and forth. You're kind of sucking on his lip at the same time.
Oh, wow.
It's nice.
To get that
I
book.
love that kiss, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A skew kiss, it's when two people tilt their heads in one direction or one opposite directions, and they open their mouth, they press their mouths together. It's probably the most common. And then there's the bent kiss.
Oh, wow.
And it's the romantic kiss in the Kama Sutra. It's when one partner takes the chin of their lover and tilts it up, and then the other one bends down to kiss their lips.
Read that again?
It's where they grab your chin, and they pull you in with your chin, and then they kiss your lips. It's very romantic.
I saw that in 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, it's very romantic.
Oh, he is so hot.
Yes. And then there's equal kiss, which is what I think we do most. It includes French kissing. You can kiss, you can lick, you can suck each other's lips, you can suck each other's tongue. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is probably not the book for me to be talking about today.
Not right now.
Anyway, and then there's pressure kiss where you just aggressively kiss or suck or passionately bite each other's lips.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm sitting here going,
I can see your face. Look at you turn beet red.
All right, let's keep going. I don't know if I'll make it through this episode, but let's see. There's the top kiss, wherein one lover is just kissing the other lover's upper lip.
Oh.
And then there's the distraction kiss. And that's, when you come up and you kind of like, it's not just limited to their mouth. You're like going to kiss their mouth and then you're going to wander. Then you're going to kiss their mouth again and you're going to wander back.
Okay.
Clip kiss is when you touch the other's tongue or lips with their tongue, causing a battle of the tongues.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's so many kisses.
There's so many.
The stirring kiss, that's where you're kissing them, they're sweet kisses, but you're also like stirring a little bit with their lips or their tongue.
Uh-huh.
It's sometimes you do it right when they're trying to wake up.
Oh, wow.
So that you can it kind of wakes them up. And then, gosh, there's so many kisses. Eyelash kisses. I've had those where they kiss your eyelashes.
Your eyelashes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Or you kiss their fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Or you kiss to ignite the flame. Now, yeah, so this is, it's kind of vague in the Kama Sutra, but you tend to fall asleep and then you let the other person kiss you to wake you up.
Ah, okay.
And then a reflecting kiss is to show desire and love without kissing your partner.
Uh-huh.
It's just a reflection of your partner in a mirror and you're like blowing them a kiss.
Huh.
Yeah.
So many.
I'm blowing you a kiss.
It's like highlight.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So there's a lot to learn. And I think people don't realize how much there is to learn. And it's kind of interesting.
Get that book.
There's different types of rubbing and touching that people enjoy. Do you have a feather?
Yes.
Oh, feathers are fun with sex too. So feathers are big in Kama Sutra. I actually have a Kama Sutra kit.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm sharing way too much again.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I have a Kama Sutra kit, and the kit, you have all kinds of oils and feathers and things like that.
Handcuffs too?
Shh. We're not going to bondage. This is not a bondage conversation today. We're talking normal sex. This is very vanilla. This is as vanilla as we can go.
Okay.
Vanilla with different sexual positions. We're not doing bondage today.
We're doing vanilla just because Diva and me are allergic to chocolate.
But I do like caramel. Anyway, So today is vanilla. We can do another podcast on bondage, just not today.
Okay.
So once you get through foreplay, now here's my thought process. There's another book I have here. It's called Tantric Orgasm for Women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell a little story before we actually go on to sexual
You did not
position.
walk into a bookstore buy those, do you?
Oh, gosh, no.
Will you be embarrassed?
Actually, I wouldn't be embarrassed, but that's okay because I'm very proud and loud. So literally, there's a story.
Oh,
and
wow. I can't wait to hear it.
So there's a thing called tantric massage. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's gaining power and gaining steam, and it's not prostitution.
Okay, is it 4 hands or 2 hands?
It's 2 hands.
Okay.
You can order it in, or you can have it taught to your partner. Now, I'm not going to tell you how I know you can order it in. But
you need to send out the link or something.
Yes, maybe I'll post a link. Yeah. Anyway, so there's different places. In some states, it's not allowed, but in most states, it's allowed. It's not penetration.
Okay.
It's just massage in a way that causes a female to have an orgasm. And it's a happy finish without intercourse.
It's kind of a happy ending massage.
A happy ending massage for a woman. I guess you could have it for a man as well, but most of the time it's more focused on women. Mm-hmm. And they use it therapeutically now for women that have had trauma.
Migraine?
No, trauma.
Trauma.
Or problems in their past, or even just got out of a really bad divorce.
Uh-huh.
Or are having sexual issues. And sometimes the partners will learn it as a way to help with foreplay. So like it's
Oh,
part of a massage. You
wow.
start with a massage, you turn it into fondling, and then it leads
Uh-huh.
to sex.
Hello, welcome to New Addiction.
Now, my only recommendation is don't always make every single massage tantric.
Okay.
Because if you do that and you're a man and you're massaging your wife, as
Mhm.
soon as you start rubbing her, she's going to assume that you want sex, which is fine, but we're not Pavlov's dogs. And sometimes it's
Mhm.
nice to just get a massage from your partner.
Yes.
But sometimes they can also be tantric. So tantric massages, there's classes on it, ways to learn about the female anatomy. So if you're a man that's struggling out there with pleasing your partner or your wife,
Uh-huh.
it might be a good class to take. So Google it because everybody's areas are different. They do have online classes as well. And it's a way for a man to learn how to really satisfy a woman prior to intercourse.
Wow. Oh, now that you talked about that, I seen some pamphlet around the gym I go to around Valentine's. They're actually giving class how to give couple massage.
Well, they might be couples massages, but this is tantric. It's a little bit different.
Maybe different.
Now, there are tantric massages that
Mhm.
do not climax the partner.
Okay.
There are tantric massages, and the nice thing about the tantric massages, if you do hire it out, they will only go as far as you allow.
Okay. Okay.
You do have to be safe with that, right?
Uh-huh.
So, because unless you know they're a well-respected practitioner, you're inviting a person into your house that you don't know or meeting someone somewhere that you don't know. But there are actual places you can go that's what they do.
Well, I'm thinking this place is got to be like licensed insured. I'm sure. Like,
I don't know if they're
professional.
licensed. I don't know if you have a license for what they do. Now, they have tantric massage where it's man on man. They have
Mhm.
tantric massage when it's woman on woman.
Mhm.
And then they have tantric massage with man on woman and woman on man.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're just happy finish massages, but not in a traditional happy massage
Mhm.
definition, because a lot of happy massages end with
Intercourse.
too.
Mhm.
So there you have it. So tantric massages, they are starting to, as people are learning that sexual health is important, and
Mhm.
a lot of blocks that women have with orgasms are
Mhm.
mental,
Mhm.
tantric massages can help with that.
Oh, wow.
A lot of women that come out of like any type of abusive relationship, it could be
Mhm.
sexually abusive, it could have been
Mhm.
rape, it could have been molestation. They use tantric massage to help them recover mentally, and they go slow,
Yeah.
and it just helps get over the trauma.
It's like part of the therapy. What
It
the
is part of
insurance will
therapy.
pay for.
No, I seriously doubt that one. Nice try though. If you want to get your insurance, I want your insurance if they pay for it, because I
Right?
will just be using it all
Because
the time.
because that part is a therapy.
It is therapy. It's just a different
Yeah.
type.
It's just different type, you know?
And a lot of people, they go to, couples counseling,
Yeah.
and they go to couples counseling to work out their issues with their, personality difficulties.
yeah.
But here's the thing. If you don't have a happy sex life with your partner, I don't care how many times you work out your personality issues or discuss what makes each other mad.
Mhm.
You need to work out your sexual issues too. So
Yeah.
this is one way to improve your sex life.
I agree.
I think it's important.
Mhm. Very important.
Yeah. So then after you've got your foreplay done and your tantric massage and your kissing,
Okay.
what's next?
Intercourse.
Absolutely. Stage 3.
Yeah, stage 3.
Now, I will say, I like to change positions a lot. What about you?
Yeah, I think by then you're probably on the 3rd orgasm, no?
She has a lot more orgasms than I do, everyone.
I don't know.
Well, it depends, So I guess you could be coming onto your 3rd orgasm. If you had a tantric massage and you were kissing and they were messing with you, you might be on your 2nd or 3rd or 4th.
Because women have multiple.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And a good tantric massage will give you 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Honestly. So, yeah.
Do you have to pay for this?
Well, if you hire it out, yes. They're not doing it for free.
Oh, I had to tell my husband, learn how to do that.
Yeah. No,
That's another book I
you
gotta
can get this book. It's called Tantric Orgasm for Women. It's by Diana Richardson.
That's all.
Yeah. So it's there's a lot of women writing sex books lately. Have you noticed?
I know.
And
I only heard about Dr. Ruth, but now it's
no,
so
Dr. Ruth, I think,
many.
opened the door for a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think
women
so.
talking about sex, but it's a much broader conversation now. And like, it's a
Hmm.
conversation that people have just going over lunch.
I'm
And
telling you.
I think it's like we went through feminism where we
Mhm.
wanted to have some equal rights, make money, but now we're coming back around and we're like, don't forget about us sexually. We still want to have the good
Right.
times in the bedroom. And now we're kind of more empowered too, I think, to have really good sex.
Yeah, granted how strong you are, you still need to be taken care of. At least that part. I
Absolutely.
think. Yes.
I know.
Mhm.
I am not done. I'm just getting started.
Right?
Yeah, it's amazing how your libido changes in your 40s and 50s and it like goes into overdrive.
I know you like relive your youth all over
I'm
again.
telling you, I feel like a 16-year-old boy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like you have a libido when you get older and I think this might be the reason why all these younger men are dating older women because
You know
the
what?
women are just like,
Yeah.
they're ready to go. And they know what they like and they know how to express themselves and they know how to talk to a man. And I don't
Oh
want to
my
call myself Mrs.
God.
Robinson because I'm not going that low, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going that young. But there's a lot of women that are teaching some of these 30 and 40-year-old boys how to perform.
Madonna, her boyfriend's only 27.
I
And
think
she's
that was a while
65.
ago. Yeah.
I don't know now.
Yeah.
But women does need to. It's like after 50, especially you got out from the long relationship, long bed,
Yeah.
It's like you relive your youth all over again. So ladies, if you're 50s and divorced and single, that's not the end of the road. Your life
no, we're just getting started. And
Right.
honestly, I feel like if you have a happy and a healthy sex life,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to help your physical health.
Oh, yeah, mentally.
It's going to help your mental health. And
Uh-huh.
I think it's going to stave off some of the dementia that people have too.
Yes.
Because it keeps you mentally alert.
You know what? That's a good point.
So, see, I'm just trying to save the world from dementia by telling them to have lots of sex.
I agree. Can be agree more.
There's different positions here too.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to talk about.
You're going to dive into the
We're going
positions.
to talk about like several different positions. So, Samukha, one of my favorites. So that's where like you're leaning against the wall.
Okay.
And having sex leaning against the wall.
Like both standing up.
Both standing.
Okay.
And leaning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this works if the guy is not too tall. If the guy's super tall, you're going to have to go into the next position. So the next position is Janu. I'm going to butcher these names.
Mm-hmm.
Janukurpara. Janukurpara.
Okay.
This is where the man's standing and you're basically straddling on his lap and he's holding you. But you could be leaning against a wall or not leaning against a wall on that one. Both are fun positions.
How come they don't have English name?
Well, this is because this is the Kama Sutra.
Oh, okay.
This is the Kama Sutra. So, yeah, I like the standing one against a wall. I love having sex against a wall. It's like my favorite.
Oh, wow.
And so many men can't do it anymore in their 50s.
Well, I think men in their 50s, they gotta be super lean to do against the wall, don't you think?
I think that's one of my favorite positions.
Because you like, nice fit man, that's why.
Yes. I love that position.
Yes.
Sex against a wall all day long, ladies.
Oh, God, yes.
I like standing sexual positions.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people like, let's go to the bedroom, let's get on the bed. But for me, I want creativity and I want it athletic. I want sex to be a little athletic. So,
well, that's how you started anyway, no? Before you go to bed.
Yeah. Sex against the wall is so much fun. All right, and then you can go from sex against the wall, both standing, to where you're straddling the man into Janukurpara.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're gonna slide right into Pititaka. So this is where the woman is laying down. She's kind of like in a position of a child's pose or not child's pose. Yeah. Kind of like where your knees are up against your chest.
Like hug your knees?
You're hugging your knees. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it, I guess I don't know what the name is. Anyway, so this is where the man comes behind you and kind of lifts up your butt and has sex with you in in that pose.
Oh, wow.
It's an okay pose.
Uh-huh.
not that big of a deal. Then there's the reverse cowgirl. I do like that one.
Yeah.
You know why I like the reverse cowgirl? So it's called Versha is the Kama Sutra name. The reverse cowgirl, I love it because it tends to be their knees are bent.
Okay.
And you can hold on to their knees while you're moving. Because that's one of the things when a woman's on top.
Uh-huh.
It's different than when a man's on top. When a woman's on top, because our boobs are there, right?
Uh-huh.
So like in a missionary position, when the man's on top, he has his arms like next to you or above your head or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And that's fine. When a woman's on top, it's hard to put especially if you have a bigger chest like I do, to put your arms because you're going to be smacking them in the face with your boobs.
With your boobs.
So the reverse cowgirl is actually kind of perfect.
So I have no boobs, so that's no issue for me.
So
you will be perfect.
Okay, this is an issue with the bigger breasted women.
Yeah.
So anyway, the reverse cowgirl is great though because you hold on to their knees and it's a reverse cowgirl.
Yeah, so your boob will never jam.
So your boobs never smack them in the face.
Yes.
What about the ballet dancer?
With one leg.
Now I've seen people do this in bed and out of bed. It's called tripadam, tripodam, something like that. And I've seen people do it laying in bed.
Okay.
Or standing up. I like the standing up position, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You're facing each other, and then basically the woman picks up one leg, and you have sex from that direction.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of nice.
Kind of nice, though.
Yeah, it's nice for penetration, too.
Yeah, like a plié standing split.
Kind of like a standing, with your, not fully split, but like your knees up and
Uh-huh.
And then there's Indrani. It's very similar to missionary.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the women's hips are elevated.
Mm-hmm.
It allows for the man to go in a little deeper. So if you have a man that's not so large, it's it's a little bit nicer to do than just a standard missionary. A standard missionary is great if the guy's a little larger, but Indrani's nice because their hips are up and the man has got his knees folded, so your butt's kind of resting on his knees. It allows for a man not to have to work as hard too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as fast paced though, ladies. So if you want this one,
I'm trying to picture it in my head.
Yeah, so it's where a woman's hips are actually up on a man's legs, and his legs are bent, so he's like kneeling behind her.
Okay.
And it's just not as fast paced as missionary can be.
Okay.
Because there's not as much gravity force, but it's nice for the slower motion.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always butterfly. Have you done butterfly?
Mm-hmm.
So butterfly is where both people are kind of scissored and leaning back. And that's a fun one too. I enjoy butterfly a lot.
That's awesome.
It is, it's possible to keep going quickly there in butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, this one's terrible. Ufalaka. So this one is where the man, instead of kneeling, he's up on his knees, holding your hips up and penetrating you that way.
So he's kneeling.
He's kneeling completely. But his hips are up in the air, and then your hips are onto him.
Underneath, okay.
That one's okay. Parsha Samputa. Okay, so this is also the lateral box. So you can't do this with men that are small.
Oh, wow.
I'm just letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
If the guy's really large, this is a great one because basically you're laying in bed, you're facing each other, and he basically sticks it in from a laying position.
Yeah.
And so if a guy's small or short, it won't work.
Yeah.
It won't work at all. And then there's the Uttana Samputa. Okay.
Uttana Samputa.
And it's like a modified missionary. It's where both people are laying completely and the man is kind of just bouncing up and down with straight legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like upward dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like the man's in upward dog position.
Yeah.
All right. And then the lotus. Ooh.
Oh.
I like the lotus. So Padmasana is the lotus.
You have to be very flexible to do the lotus.
Yeah, it's really good in a bathtub. If they're sitting in the bathtub, like depending on how big your bathtub is, I have a really wide bathtub, so you can do like cross-legged in the bathtub, and then you sit on their lap, and that's the lotus. It can also work on a sofa, but you're not really cross-legged. It's best on the floor or in a bathtub.
Yeah, something steady.
Something steady, and that's nice too. Now the woman's pretty much doing all the work on that one because that's the position. The nice thing about some of these positions is they're shared. You share the effort.
Yeah.
I like sharing effort. I don't like being the one that's doing all the work. And now some guys in our age group, I will tell you, they don't want to do any work at all.
That's why women go for the younger men.
Maybe. There is something to be said to have a nice little hair pull, a nice little buddy smack once in a while, too.
Yes,
But we're not getting into that today.
No,
Anyway,
that's
so then
no
there's
different subject.
J. Rem Bitaka.
Okay.
So that one also is where you have your legs up over their neck area, like on their shoulders.
Okay.
And they are, it's almost like this flows nicely from missionary into this position. So say you're doing missionary position and you want to raise your legs up and then you put your legs over their shoulders and you're still kind of in the missionary position.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Mountain also kind of looks like doggy style.
Magic Mountain, but you're both kneeling though.
You're both kneeling,
Mm-hmm.
and basically you're set up on pillows, okay?
See?
So you're kind of going to town and he's right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That's good on a bed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Good X. Ugh.
What is that?
So that's like a scissored position.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically sitting on the bed facing each other's legs. So your heads are at opposite positions.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I've done that position before. It's a little awkward depending on the size of the guy. Again, I think the guy has to be long. Doesn't have to be thick, but long on that one to make that one work well. And if you're not nimble, it's difficult, meaning that if your hips aren't flexible, it's a little difficult.
Okay.
But it's definitely doable.
Mm-hmm.
Pinball Wizard, that's where they are basically have your head down. They're holding on to your hips.
Uh-huh.
And they're having sex with you that way. The Cowgirl's Helper. Okay, so
Cowgirl helper. So that's a backward cowgirl.
The reverse cowgirl was the backwards. The Cowgirl's Helper is where you have your hands on their shoulders.
Okay.
And it's cowgirl style.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. Stand and Deliver. So this is my favorite. This is where you're completely against the wall and they pick you up and you have sex completely against the wall. I will say this is my favorite.
I think I need to lose another 50 pounds for my husband to pick me up.
No, this is absolutely the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this is like, I don't know what it is about having sex against a wall with a guy. I don't know. It's my thing. All right. So Stand and Deliver is a great position. We're almost done. And then there's the pretzel. And that's where this
twist and turn.
Yeah. So basically, you have one leg. It's so much fun.
Look at you. You turned beet red. Someone had tried this already.
Oh, yeah. Recently. So this one is nice because basically one leg is over to, let's say, their outer thigh.
Huh?
So they can still see your upper body and your face.
Okay.
And they're basically scissoring your legs.
Okay.
And you're laying with your shoulder kind of sideways, but they can still see you. And they're on top having sex with you, like almost missionary, but with one leg across.
Oh, wow.
It's nice. It's really good for penetration.
Uh-huh.
And so if you have a smaller man, a guy that's not so big, it works as well. So
you have to be very flexible.
You have to be. I'm pretty flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still very flexible.
Good for you.
So then there's the butter churner. And this is where, the old bicycle position.
Okay.
It's where your hips are up in the air. Your head is down on the ground. And the man is basically,
It's like shoulder stand.
It's like a shoulder stand with the man on top.
With the man on top.
It's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Seated wheelbarrow's fun, though.
Seated wheelbarrow.
Yeah. So that's where... Now, this is nice. So let's say you have a man in a reverse cowgirl position.
Okay.
And then you just put your hands on the floor. They're seated. Like, let's say they're seated and you're in reverse cowgirl. And then you put your hands on the floor. And it's nice because it's can lead to different positions.
Oh, I see.
Now, it's a little, you're not going to be going very quickly on this position. It's just kind of a fun transition position, I think, but you can do it. It does, depending on where your G-spot is, it will hit different parts of you.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, ladies, with all these different positions, you need to work with the ones that work for you and give you the most pleasure because everybody's a little bit different.
Because some of them, it looks painful.
Yeah. It can be.
Yeah.
The Arc de Triomphe, okay? So in this position, the man extends their legs out. So he's sitting up You're going to sit on him with your knees bent, okay? And then you're going to lean backwards. It's a nice position. You're not going to arc too much. And then you're going to rest your head on his legs. And this is a nice slow moving position. It's nice and gentle. And it's really nice to get a massage in that position while you're doing other things too.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then there's the chairman where you're sitting reverse cowgirl. The guy's in a chair. And your back is to his face. And that is nice too. This one reaches the G-spot really well.
That chair better be very strong.
Yeah. Well, and it depends on height too. You got to get the right height. But if you can find the right chair and you're having difficulty with the man reaching your G-spot, the reverse, or the chairman is a really good way to hit your G-spot, ladies. It's just, even with the smaller men. So,
really?
Yeah.
I was wondering, what if he's too small, too short?
Well, if he has a belly, this isn't going to work.
Oh, yeah.
So any of these, the reverse cowgirl, the reverse cowgirl will work with the guy with belly, but the regular cowgirl doesn't work so well. And the chairman doesn't work so well either if he has a big belly. Yeah. It only works if the guy's belly is small.
I see.
And then if it is, it's a really good position for a man because basically his scrotum will come up when his legs are closed and you're sitting on top. So it actually allows for a deeper penetration and better G-spot hit.
Yeah.
And then there's the wheelbarrow. And that's where he's like walking you around like a wheelbarrow and your hands are on the ground. And it's a wheelbarrow. And this one is a very good one as well for your G-spot. So, you have to realize that a lot of these positions are really, really good for hitting different parts.
Yeah, but you have to work it which one that works for you, don't you?
You do. And that's the thing is, as you work different positions, you're going to find different ways to pleasure yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the tantric idea, now tantric massage is about awakening. Okay, so it's not just about sex.
Wow.
So even the book, The Tantric Massage, the one thing I like about the tantric orgasm for women is it's about spiritual awakening.
Oh, is it really?
It truly is. And one of the things it says is that sex has to be raised higher and higher to its ultimate peak. And the ultimate peak is called samadhi, which is super consciousness. So we're not talking just about conscious. This is talking about having enough sex to get to like an altered level. The sex creates enough happy hormones in your body that you get elevated to another level.
Oh, wow.
An orgasm has the ability to do that. It's the human's way of drugging you. I mean, honestly, it gives you the most enlightenment. You get a different consciousness and it touches every cell in your body. The reason we tingle so much is it touches everything.
I've learned something new today. I have got to get that book.
And your telomeres may change. You may advance to another level. It may decrease aging, reverse aging. Maybe that's why.
Oh.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Orgasm's a spiritual experience. It truly is. It can be. It can be.
It is.
If you do it right. But I think a lot of people aren't doing it right.
With the right person too, though.
Well, yes. But there's love energy. There's connection. The way people are going about sex, they're making it a chore and it should not be. Sex should be 100% pleasurable and it should be taking you to the next level.
Yeah. I think if you need to schedule sex, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if scheduling is a good idea, but I think that when you have it, it should be orgasmic. I really do. And there's different types. There's the orgasm for the man and the orgasm for the women. And I don't know if you know anything about Dave Asprey. He's got a couple videos out there. He's saying men should not have an orgasm every time.
Really?
He says that men should not be having an orgasm every time because it's different than a woman. And a man will find the most pleasure if he can pleasure a woman 2 or 3 times in a sexual experience and not ejaculate and then ejaculate maybe every second or third time. And the reason is it's actually better for the man.
Mm-hmm.
It increases, when a man has an orgasm, it actually decreases their testosterone. And they also go into a state of not wanting to be around the woman for 24 hours.
Oh,
So
wow.
some women say, well, he turns into a different person after he's done.
After he's done, yeah.
Yeah, actually he does. His testosterone goes through the floor.
Yeah.
And he's not that into you after. That's why a lot of times men don't like to snuggle.
Mm-hmm.
So when a man doesn't ejaculate, his testosterone stays extra high. It actually starts to peak and go higher.
Mm-hmm.
So then the next time when he actually does the ejaculation, it's like a spiritual experience for a man.
Oh, wow.
So if a man is getting off and not finding a lot of pleasure in it, especially if they've been addicted to porn or whatever, maybe it's time to do some tantric things where the man is pleasuring the woman. It also gives the man a sense of control, I think, to pleasure a woman, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It allows him to see what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a man's job.
I mean,
we really need to get back to sexual health. And some people say we never were there and we're just now awakening into it. But I think sexual health is so very important.
I think so. But I think it's been around for a long time because right now we just need to choose to talk about it, don't you think?
I've been talking about it for a while. I do think I am more verbal about it now that I've been awakened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'm fully awake yet. I think I'm still learning things that I enjoy and like. I do know I'm more of a one person, and I want to just learn one person. That's my goal, is to find my person and just to explore with them and enjoy them. I now know kind of what I want.
Yeah.
I need to have somebody I can actually explore with.
That's awesome.
And here's the thing. Just because they're good looking or they're decent in bed doesn't mean that's the person you want to explore with. My permanent partner will be somebody that I'm comfortable enough with to explore and do different things with, because I want to try out new things. I'm open to change and trying new things, and I like to figure out new things. So if I can't go back to a marriage where it's always the same thing over and over again, I can't do it. That's suffocating.
Suffocated.
And I know, ladies, you may be listening to this and your partner does the same position, the same way, every single time. And it may be that he gets you off, then he has sex with you, and then he gets you off, and then he has sex with you. I mean, I was on the rinse and repeat cycle myself.
It's time to be creative, ladies.
It was, for me, and I'll tell you my story. For me, it was oral sex on me. 5 minutes, I had an orgasm or less. And then intercourse, which was 2 to 3 minutes, and then we were done. That was it. Then we rinse and repeat it again. That's not very fun. At least it wasn't for me. And it
become a job.
It was a job. And to me, that is not the way I want to live my life.
Right.
I did meet a man one time that likes to change positions. And I was just like, holy moly, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it wasn't like he was crazy fit, but he did well at switching up positions. And I like that.
Yeah.
I enjoy being able to switch positions, do different things in one sexual encounter. And quite frankly, if it's a 2-minute sexual encounter, it's not really my thing either.
Yeah.
So for me, I really want the variety.
Yeah, maybe between you and your partner should do some homework, no?
Yes. Well, once I find my new partner.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know when that'll be, but I know what I want, which is kind of nice too.
That's so awesome, though. I think it's coming.
Oh, maybe in more ways than one.
Yes.
Anyway, so let's talk about coming a little bit more. So the breasts are one of the keys for women to have an orgasm. And I think that men ignore them too much. And I know there's some women that have had implants and they may not be as sensitive, but for us women out there that have the original breasts that are super sensitive, and there are women that have had implants and are still super sensitive.
It depends.
It depends.
Because I talked to my friend that she had recently had the implant. Now she's all regretted. She said she doesn't feel it. Maybe it's still numb.
How long ago was it?
probably 6 months ago.
Yeah, so they said it can take 1 year to 2 years for the nerve endings to grow back, and they may
Yeah.
never fully grow back.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some women that have the implants and they get hypersensitive after.
Oh, wow. So it could go both ways.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
When a man messes with your breasts,
Mm-hmm.
it's now, I'm going to caveat this. There are certain ways to mess with a woman's breasts,
Okay.
and we'll go over that too. But when a man touches a woman's breasts, it does excite most women.
Mm-hmm.
We are super hypersensitive there. And I don't know why when you have babies and you breastfeed, it doesn't do anything for you. But when you're done lactating
Mm-hmm.
and you get back to normal and you're with your spouse,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Well, I noticed for myself anyway, after you lactate your baby, your sex drive goes up sky high. I don't know.
So
it's a
your sex
hormone
drive
that
went up.
you-
It could be.
Maybe you need to reproduce your hormone or something.
I don't know. That's a good question to ask. But for lactation, once lactation is done, I think that women then go back to normal sensitivities because I think they have to be desensitized in order for a baby to bite as hard as they do anyway.
Right.
Once you go back to normal sensitivity,
Mm-hmm.
there's women like different things.
Mm-hmm.
So some women like to have their breasts softly touched.
Mm-hmm.
Some women like to have their breasts pinched.
Mm-hmm.
Some women like to have them licked, and some women like to have them bit, and some like to have a combination.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the women that are very sensitive
Mm-hmm.
do not want their breast bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they can be nibbled on, but don't bite a woman's breast hard unless you really want to hurt her. Now, there's women that have less sensitive breasts, and biting them is good for them.
Sometime like a week before your, monthly, your breast is super sensitive.
Yes, so your breasts can change,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one way to really get a woman wet.
Mm-hmm.
So I know recently there was a guy that I had kissed that
Mm-hmm.
could get me wet just from kissing him. Like,
Oh, wow. He's good.
amazing. He's a nice kisser. And if he touched my breast, I got
Mhm.
really, really wet. Now, we didn't do anything, but it was wow.
Wow.
You can get very excitable just from kissing and breast touching or
That's-
breast licking or breast sucking.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. So there are, gosh, I hope that the guys that,
I hope you're listening.
I hope you never listen. Anyway,
No, I said, I hope you're listening, whoever out there.
so anyway, the breasts are very sensitive. Now, I don't know why men
Mhm.
are so non-respectful of women's breasts. I will say I've been with a couple people that were, I don't know, I felt like I was tuning in Tokyo. I felt like it was just all over the place. Like it was a back and forth, back. And I'm like, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Each breast is special. Each breast is an erogenous zone. Each breast is super sensitive. And it's almost like a tease. If a man can take a nipple and tease it
Mm-hmm.
and play with it
Mm-hmm.
and be gentle with it with his
Mhm.
tongue, his fingers, or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
ice cubes, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. When they get violent with your breast, from my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
it's a turnoff.
Yeah.
So if you want to turn on women, look at them as something very sensitive.
Well, some women like it hard, so maybe, I don't know.
For women, here's the idea. I think if you can show a man
Uh-huh.
on their own breast what you like, maybe they can repeat it.
Right. No?
But if you've got a guy that's getting a little too violent, say, look, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you what I like. And then you can show them on their nipple.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
That's a good way to go. But breasts are very important if you're going to have really good orgasms
Mm-hmm.
because they get you really excited. And people don't realize how important they are to the whole orgasm process. Because a woman can have an orgasm just from their nipples being played with.
For sure.
So, and a little bit of stroking. But mostly, I mean, you can have a orgasm like very quickly after you play with a woman's nipples. So if you're a guy that doesn't really like to have oral sex on a woman and you only
Okay.
want to do it for a short period of time,
Mm-hmm.
then play with the nipples for 5 minutes. And then maybe use your fingers for 5 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and get her off that way. And then maybe you do a little bit of oral sex, maybe you don't, but at least do the nipples and the fingers, get her off, externally, and then have sex. It's a great way to, have a man get a woman off and make sure she has an orgasm every single time. And it doesn't take much effort.
You just have to tell him sometime, no?
Well, I would think that a man should want to please a woman every single time they have sex.
Of course they do.
But they
no?
don't.
Yeah.
Men out there, this is my announcement to the men of the world. Every single time you want to have sex with a woman, you better get her off first. Because by the time you stick it in and you're done 2 to 6 minutes later, or however long it takes you, if you haven't gotten her off, she's going to eventually not want to have sex with you anymore.
Yeah.
Because she's like, wow, it's kind of a letdown. Now I've got to go take care of myself.
Right.
And so, just saying.
Yeah.
Now, you'll get away with it for a little bit.
Yeah, I think the communication need to be
Well,
something that had to be said, no?
here's the other thing. I think women fake orgasms too much.
Right. I think so too.
I think we fake it. I think what part of the problem is us. Because if you're faking orgasms, the guy might think he's actually pleasuring you.
I see. You have to tell him if you don't get there.
Well, he should be able to figure that out. If you're not getting there, if you're faking it, then that's on you. But if you want to have good sex, you got to stop faking it.
Yeah.
And then you got to say, hey, look, I need to get off before we have intercourse. And just say, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Now, once you have an orgasm, okay, so let's say you've had an orgasm, whether it's fingers, tongues, toys, whatever it is in advance. Then let's talk deep penetration.
Okay.
Because deep penetration is fun because it can give you another orgasm.
But that could be painful too, no?
Yes. If you have a guy that's super long and they hit your cervix, I've had that happen. That can be painful.
Yeah.
There are positions to slow that down, though, too. So, like, you can cross your legs in front, which actually keeps him back a little bit farther. You can have a side position, or you can have the position laying down that we had talked about where you're facing each other.
Right.
And there they don't go all the way, they don't hit your cervix that way. But the best deep penetration positions are where the middle position where it's kind of like where your knees are up and he's right behind you and he's holding on to your legs and he's just hip grinding right into you.
I see.
Okay. The next is missionary. I mean, missionary is a great deep penetration.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's a really good deep penetration. Especially with missionary, if you have your legs a little bit higher, they can go a little deeper. And it's also another good deep penetration position is doggy style.
It's always worked up.
Doggy style works. Doggy style or doggy style with the woman where she's kind of her torso's turned is also a good one. When a woman sits on top, that's probably one of the deepest positions. Depending if the guy has a big belly or not. Again,
come to the belly.
If the guy has a belly, that's not going to work so much. You might have to do reverse cowgirl for that to work. And I don't know if you'll get as deep then.
Yeah.
And then if you're kneeling.
The key is the guy had to be a little fit, not too many belly, not too much.
Yes. And, deep penetration is great. But some of the best positions are when your clitoris gets stimulated at the same time while you're having sex. So you have to remember that all these different sexual positions are going to be based off of, how your clitoris is shaped. Some women have bigger clitorises than others, as well as, the level of penetration. Some women like it deeper than others.
I agree.
Yeah. What's your favorite position?
The doggy style.
Doggy style? Really? Do you have orgasms from doggy style?
Yes, I think part of it was I never tried against the wall.
Oh my gosh, the wall is a wonderful thing.
I just feel I'm too heavy to be.
Well, he doesn't have to pick you up. You can just raise a leg and you can have sex that way.
Oh, yeah. I need to try that.
You can do it in the bathroom where you're against the wall and you can even put your leg up on the counter. There's different locations. I could tell. I could go look at your house and I could tell you where and how you can have sex.
Yeah, no. Pretend Diva Mia's going to come feng shui our bathroom.
I'm going to feng shui. I'm going to shui your bathroom.
Feng shui. Oops. Am I allowed to say that word?
I don't think so. Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Bleep, bleep.
Anyway, so there's different. And then there's different stimulation zones, right? So you've got your G-spot. Everybody knows about the G-spot.
Yes.
G-spot inside. There's a G-spot actually in your rectum area too, guys.
Yes.
There's one in your vagina. There's one in your rectum area, as well as for men. There's the clitoris, which everyone loves their little clit.
Yes.
And then there's deep penetration. I will say deep penetration is wonderful. That is one thing that you don't get from a sex toy.
Yeah. That's why you cannot just leave it just sex toy. You need human.
You need humans. You need the actual full integration. I mean, I guess you could. I just don't find that as fun as the real thing. And women have great orgasm potential. We can have multiple orgasms, which is amazing.
Yeah, woman body it's like God gift.
God's gift.
Yeah, we have to treat our body very treasuring.
Yes, we need to treasure our bodies.
Our body, yeah, that's the right word. Yeah.
If your guy is not big into foreplay, you need to guide him that way. But there's other things you can do as well. So they have these little cock rings on Amazon and at some sex stores that they vibrate. So it basically goes around a man's penis.
Okay.
And it vibrates. Now, one of the issues with it is the guy may get off a little faster. But after the guy gets off, guys sometimes will just leave it on until you come.
That could be a problem.
They stay in.
Oh, okay.
And then you may have an orgasm on top of the guy. So it's kind of neat. I've actually done that.
Oh.
From experience.
What have you not done? I wonder.
Oh, my goodness. I haven't done a lot of things. It may sound like I've got all these expertise, but I really don't. I am just willing to explore possibilities.
Right. You open up for any ideas.
I'm open. I am open to new ideas. So the Kama Sutra, Kama actually means not just sex, but joy in all aspects of life. It means joy in love, art, music, and beauty.
See?
Yeah. And it's based off of a Hindu philosophy. Dharma, which is duty.
Okay.
Artha, which is wealth. And moksha, which is liberation. The problem is that I think the way the Kama Sutra was written before, it was written to liberate women, but it was so patriarchal that it kept women non-liberated. I think now is our time to really experience the pleasure that it actually talked about.
I think you should. And have you ever been in Pompeii?
No, I have not.
People back then is super creative.
Yeah.
They have it's a house full of women, right?
Yeah.
That's a Kama Sutra, all kind of position, again, hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
And that's how they prize the woman by all those positions.
Yeah.
And instead of the arrow to go to that house, it's a side of penis. You could follow the penis side instead of follow the...
She likes her penises.
Oh, my God. I took the pictures of it.
I love it.
Yeah, the penis with the wings.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
so, yeah, it's been around for thousands of years.
The Kama Sutra has been around for quite some time. Depending on what position, depending on your current energy level, you might be 70 years old and you still want to have sex.
Oh, yeah.
But there's ways to do it. I mean, maybe you lay on your side. Maybe you do a side position. I mean, it depends on, how you are. I will say the side position first thing in the morning when you're still kind of groggy is really fun.
Yeah.
And then I would say, it's timing, rhythm, foreplay, and other sexual things. Like you can do oral sex. I will tell you, men and ladies, the best sex is when you can have a full-on emotional connection.
Oh, yeah.
If you can connect fully with a person, that's the best. That's why I don't do one-night stands.
Yeah.
Because I need to have such an emotional connection before I have sex with a person. There has to be a build-up towards it.
Right. So you're never going to have sex on your first date. You have to be...
No.
So, yeah. Maybe a kiss.
Well, I did have sex with a previous person that I've known that I'd had sex with before, and it's the first time we saw each other for a while. But
you've known each other for a long time.
We had, yeah. So that was really the only time. But no, I would have to have multiple dates. And honestly, I like kissing on the first date because I can tell a lot from a kiss to determine whether or not they're good in bed or not.
That's what I'm saying. Kiss is like a breaking point. Should we have a second one? Should we have a third one?
Yeah. You can't really tell much about a guy's size from a kiss, but you can tell from a kiss whether or not he's gonna please you or not. If a guy comes in and he's over dominating in a kiss, he's gonna be that way in bed.
That's true.
If a guy comes in and he's very playful with his tongue, it's gonna be really good oral sex. And if a guy comes in and is kind of just normal, kind of vanilla, if you will, it's probably just gonna be sex. Honestly, though, can honestly say the guys that don't have a lot of imagination with it's a very vanilla sex.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not even into oral sex if they don't have a
No?
good. Nope. I'm telling you. I mean, that's kind of a. Whew.
That's a real vanilla.
That's real vanilla. Like they just want to wham bam, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kissing is important. So from a kiss, and if they're a terrible kisser or they make your whole face wet, then I can't do it.
You feel like you get licked by the dog.
Exactly. Don't lick me like a dog.
Yeah.
But all these sexual things, it's going to enhance your intimacy. And I think people in long-term relationships, if you've been married for a while, you really need to try some of this stuff out.
Sex life is important for a long, happy
It's beyond
marriage.
important. It's going to prolong your marriage. It's going to make your marriage funner. And try some of this stuff. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try something new. I will say one of the things that kills marriages is repetition of the exact same thing in the exact same way. There's no imagination.
Yeah.
There's no new fun. I will say that you got to look at yourself as a temple, though.
What do you mean?
Be careful who you have sex with.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Your body is a temple, and you need to make sure that whoever you allow into your temple is the right person.
Yes.
And there has to be consent, and there has to be mutual pleasure. So look at your body.
It's like connection, no?
Well, it starts with connection. I do think it's very important for people to realize that no means no.
Right.
And you have to have consent, and you have to be in a way that there's mutual pleasure without pain. And we're not talking about bondage or anything like that on this one, but we will cover that eventually in a podcast. And even then, there has to be mutual consent.
Yeah.
So sex positions are important, and enjoy yourself and try these. These are so much fun.
Yeah.
It's nice to have fun with your partner. You can include food.
Yeah.
I love a little bit of whipped cream on a man.
Ice cream.
Ice cream or whipped cream.
Yeah.
Ice cream is a little bit stickier, isn't
messy,
it?
though, no?
Fruit, ice cream, whipped cream, all those things are fun on a man. It's pleasurable.
Yeah.
And always respect what your partner wants. And I don't think we do that enough.
No.
I don't think we ask.
I don't even think we ask about it.
Yeah, men are just, it's like at a certain point you just start going through the motions. But what if today you stopped living life as a zombie?
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like. When you're just going through the motions, you're living like a zombie.
Yeah.
So what if you stopped and you said, let me change something in my life and let me start with my sex life?
Yeah. Don't you just think like, well, it always come naturally. No, break out from that.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing come naturally.
It's like it's mindful intimacy.
Yeah, be creative.
Yeah, if you're creative and you're intimate and you're doing something out of the norm, I challenge every person listening to this to find a new way with your partner, if you have a partner.
Yeah.
If you don't, you can imagine it in your mind when you're having your masturbation session.
Right.
But find a new way with your partner to do something different.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And that's the other thing with my favorite sexual position against a wall. Most men are having hip problems.
Oh, my God.
And I'm sitting here going, come on, man. I need a man that's got some good hips on him.
Is it hips or knees problem?
Oh, man.
Well, yeah.
That's why if you don't want him to hold you, you can also lean against the wall or even sit in the bathroom.
Sit in the bathroom.
Sit in a countertop. I mean, there's so many things. Anyway, so tantric sex is good. I will say tantric orgasms are better. They tend to be slower. They tend to be deeper.
They take time.
And it causes your whole body to erupt.
Tingling, right?
It does.
Yeah.
So you can have it from just fingers. You can have it from a tantric sex from oral sex. And you can have it from regular intercourse, too.
Yeah.
With the tantric sex, there's a building, right? Tantric sex always starts with genital stimulation prior to intercourse, always.
Always.
You don't just go straight for tantric sex is not intercourse. Tantric sex is full-on excitement prior to intercourse.
Kind of like a foreplay.
Yes. And typically the man is not going to ejaculate at all until intercourse, if he even does then. Because it's going to be completely fulfilling.
Yes.
There can be some teasing with tantric sex.
Okay.
You will not need lubrication.
Oh, wow.
Because you will be so wet from tantric sex that there is no need for any type of lubrication. And if you're not wet enough, then they haven't done it long enough.
Right.
It does. It will cause climaxes and sensations that you have never felt in your body. It will be a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
So learn the tantric sex as well, not just the Kama Sutra. Look into tantric sex.
Yep.
Typically, a woman is going to experience multiple orgasms. When I had my tantric massage, I'm not going to tell you who with.
Okay.
When I had my tantric massage, I had 3 orgasms.
Oh, wow.
Within an hour. Some women cry.
Is it really?
Some women release trauma during a tantric orgasm. So some women will actually cry in a good way. And some people are just releasing stress and anxiety. There's a feeling of bliss and
that
a high.
Definitely help from you who just come out from trauma.
From trauma. And you can feel sensitive afterwards, like super sensitive for days after. It is so enlightening that for days after, your whole body will just feel tingly for a while.
You just gave me an idea. I have a friend who just got out from bad divorce.
Yes. And it's a good way to go.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Well, and so you start off in a tantric, and we're going to cover just a little bit more in the tantric area. So you start off with the tantric massage. It's like a slow, usually with like some warm oil. It's full body. And typically you'll start face down. Okay, just like you would if you were getting a normal massage. It can be done on a bed. And typically you'll have an orgasm face down first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you have at least 1 orgasm, maybe 2 that way. Everything is consensual. And a lot of times when you're doing tantrics, there's a lot of communication.
Yes.
So, and some breath work, right? So it can be, especially with your partner can ask you what you like. And then breathing deep is good. And your partner may say, breathe deeper, breathe into the orgasm. I mean, it's almost like coaching into your orgasm.
Yeah.
And
it's like coaching session.
Yeah. And so you're always typically starting face down. And then after, they'll flip you over like in a normal massage.
Okay.
And there's some eye gazing, like you can really connect with the person during tantric massage. So I recommend doing it with a person that you love.
Yeah.
Somebody who's your forever person or in a long-term relationship with. This is not something you're doing with somebody that you've recently started. Although you could. I mean, it depends on how central you are together.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of, massaging of the breasts and the inner thighs and the neck. And eventually the yoni. Everybody knows what yoni is, right?
What the yoni is, yes. Hopefully. Maybe you need to explain that.
So the yoni is the clitoris area and the outsides of the skin around it. It's the sacred word for vulva. So the external parts of the female anatomy. So it's another erogenous zone that gets massaged.
People who don't know you, they must think like you've been on to like the med school or something. You know the whole anatomy, all the body parts.
Well, you kind of need to learn your body parts, right? I mean, it's my body.
Yeah.
And I need to know what makes me happy and what doesn't.
See, a lot of women don't.
Well, this is the thing that we need to learn as women is that it's our bodies.
Right.
And if we don't know how to make ourselves happy, how can we have someone else make us happy?
Right. How are you going to be able to tell them to make you happy?
Well, exactly. And I'm not just talking sex. I'm talking just in general.
Yeah.
So ladies, you need to be happy within yourself first.
Right. Learn your body.
So I think it's very important for women to know what turns them on.
Yeah.
How to satisfy yourself.
Yeah.
Because then when you're happy, personally, you can be happy in yourself and then you can teach your partner how to make you happy.
Of course. Yeah. I've been married for a long time. We've been the same guy for a long time. We know each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should totally be doing tantric sex.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're with somebody for a long period of time, there is no reason not to know every aspect of what they want sexually.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So do you know every aspect of what he wants sexually?
Yeah.
See, ladies, you got to learn it.
You have to know. And he knows what I wanted.
Yes. So you've learned, but can you take it to the next level?
Yeah.
Can you have 3, 4, 5 orgasms in a sexual session?
Yeah.
I'm thinking the night you have the roses and the candles.
Yeah, I think the roses and candles coming right out.
It's going to have to be minimum of 3 orgasms.
Oh, easily.
There you go. Yeah. And no faking. No more faking.
No more faking, ladies. Fake is bad.
It's, it's an emotional release too. It's part of healing when you have tantric massage. And I do recommend it for women that have recently had a spouse die
Mm-hmm.
or have recently gone through a breakup or a divorce.
Uh-huh.
A tantric massage is a wonderful way to release that pain and that emotion.
Yeah.
And it will take you to the next level. It was actually part of my healing.
That's what I said. It's called considered as a therapy. I don't know what
It was part, and the person that I did it with was really good.
Yeah.
And it was part of my healing. And I knew I needed it.
Yeah. Kind of like Reiki. Kind of thing.
It's funny. When I got divorced, I didn't want another man to touch me.
Oh, wow.
I literally, because I'd been with one man for 28 years, right?
Right.
And I could feel it. Even the thought of allowing another man to touch me
Mm-hmm.
kind of freaked me out. And I had a block. I had a psychological block.
But you don't feel it right now, do you?
No.
You're ready.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I have been ready. No, but when I got divorced, I didn't want anyone else to touch me. So I did this to get my control back
Mm-hmm.
over that my sexuality, over that aspect of my life.
Right.
Because I was a little broken there too.
So the orgasm is a wonderful thing.
Well, it was the tantric massage.
Okay.
It wasn't just on having an orgasm, because that I could do.
Yeah.
It was allowing another man to touch me in a sexual way.
Oh, I see.
That wasn't my ex-husband. And I needed it.
Yeah.
And I realized I needed it coming out of my divorce. So I actually had a tantric massage 3 months after I got divorced.
That's awesome.
Just because I wouldn't even date. I couldn't go on dates. I couldn't even look at other men.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little broken.
That's a lot.
Well, I've come back pretty well.
Yeah, you did.
But I think
quick too.
I think a lot of women go through this.
Well, but you've gone through so many sessions. You research it to find a way for you to come out the healthy way.
I felt it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not healthy to not want another man to ever touch me. And I would have gotten stuck. And I know women get stuck.
Yeah.
They come out of a divorce or bad relationship, or even God forbid, their spouse dies.
Oh my God.
And they cannot imagine allowing another man to touch them.
Yeah.
So there is a thing called tantric massage now, and it was so healing.
That's interesting.
Because I was so blocked. And the other thing it did, it kind of helped sexually awaken me.
Mm-hmm.
The tantric massage took me to the next level. And it depends if you want to take it to that level. If you're having a complete emotional sexual block, though, you could do it with a friend that knows. You could also do it with your first partner. Just saying, it's something you can do if you feel broken.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that will help as well, the people that are looking for a way to move past.
Yeah. Because I've known someone that been divorced for so long, get out bad relationships, all of that. I think they need that.
I met a woman that had been divorced for 6 years, and she's still never been with anyone else. She wasn't even dating, and she was still bitter at her ex-husband.
Right, because she never get over it.
Because they get stuck.
Right.
I think sexual healing is a way to move on. What is the saying goes? To get over someone, you have to get under someone.
Right.
It's kind of true.
It's kind of true. You have to feel the nails whole with the nails. My mother's always tell me that.
Well, and here's the thing.
With the bigger nails.
Here's the thing. After my tantric massage, I did not rush out and go have sex with anyone.
You see?
I just needed to, I started to date though. I just needed to feel that I was a woman that could still be desired and could be touched by a man without feeling terrible. And because I felt the idea of having a man touch me was disgusting to me because I had such a traumatic marriage and divorce. The divorce was pretty traumatic too.
Oh yeah, any divorce. Yes.
So you have to move on.
For sure.
And it's just a wonderful way to move on.
That's the best way to move on. And you didn't hurt anybody.
And I didn't hurt anyone.
You didn't break any laws either.
Didn't break any laws. And it was just a massage with a nice little happy finish for a woman.
A lot cheaper than nasty divorce pay for all those lawyers free. For sure.
Well, and here's the thing. A lot of men have had happy finishes in massages. There are a lot of massage parlors where there's men that get a happy finish.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of a newer thing for women to have a tantric massage. And the difference is, on a woman, it's a lot more detailed and there's multiple orgasms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, tantric massages can also be without orgasm. So what it's going to do then is it's just going to bring you almost to climax and then back off. And what it does is it makes you so hypersensitive that you have such a heightened sensitivity. It also gives you trust and you get to surrender to your partner. So it's a deep connection and it encourages great communication as does this feel good? So it's another way for your partner to learn your body.
Oh, wow.
I think we've covered nearly everything today. I think this is a good one that people can actually let us know.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you've ever had a tantric massage, let us know. If you want more information, just private message us.
Yeah.
But there's ways to make sure that intercourse is as fun as it possibly can be. And I think we as women need to have a higher standard and start demanding more from intercourse than we have in the past.
For sure. And stop faking.
And stop faking it because intercourse is fun and can be amazing.
Faking is bad.
And then you should also, during intercourse, learn the positions that feel the best for you, not just the ones that feel the best for the guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's your body. You need to know
and
what
a
you
lot
want.
of it's going to be your body, but also your partner's body. Like, how active are they? How energetic are they? How flexible are they? How big are they? How small are they? How long and how wide? I mean, it all matters.
Yeah, it all matters. Some position, if you have big belly, that ain't happening.
Yeah, let's all get rid of our big bellies, make America healthy again.
Right.
So, no more big bellies in sex.
Right. If you have big belly, there's a lot of position you cannot do it with big belly.
Well,
Maybe it's in the
from
pool.
a cardiovascular level too, you're not going to be able to sustain sex as long as if you have a big belly. So
so
it's best to lose some weight if you can because it makes sex better and sex is so important.
Well, the weather is getting nice. Time to get out there and go around the block.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So, is there anything else we need to cover today, Diva Mia?
I don't think so, Diva Khat. I think we got everybody quite excited today after this conversation.
Get the massage.
I think people are going to be in their bedrooms for a little bit after this podcast.
Right? I know I will.
All right, this is Diva Mia signing off.
This is Diva Khat. Talk to you soon.
Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'd love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professionals. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. The Diva Details and its affiliate, contributor, and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from the use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partner. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.